interesting for me is St. Anne. At this hour, right now, as we speak, the Prime Minister is in St. Anne. A by-election happens in Northeast St. Anne on Monday. Prime Minister is having a spot meeting, a rally in St. Anne. And based on this, Blue Dot has found, listeners, that the People's National Party is ahead in St. Anne.
That is correct, by a margin of 10%. So 36% of residents of the parish of St. Anne indicated that they would vote for the PNP candidate in their constituencies versus only 26% who would cast their vote for the JLP candidate.
So, the Nancy Webb, tonight is going to be very interesting, people, very interesting. Right? Yes. Audio? Yes, let us play the audio here.
The stakeholders that comprise the CMOC have expressed concerns with the, we could say, the prioritization of the unexplained wealth orders as part of the toolkit for dealing with fight against corruption alongside the other mechanisms that have been put in place to deal with this issue. We're concerned because we think it is an essential part of this toolkit because it will help to close an important gap that presently exists in the fight against corruption. The deprioritization of the unexplained wealth orders alongside the stated intention through, I believe, is action in the courts to address some elements of the Integrity Commission Act together create a significant amount of concern among the stakeholders.
Okay. Now, let me allow Ratty to jump on this one. Ratty.
Yes, sir.
The Prime Minister, we want to get into the Prime Minister mindset. Right? But let me set the table before I ask the question. The Prime Minister, as it relates to the Integrity Commission report, right, and based on what we have seen in the report, go against the Prime Minister, right, and what seems to be hinging on illicit enrichment. As a result of that, the Prime Minister, in his response, right, want to take it to the court and totally uproot the unexplained wealth mechanism that could hold parliamentarians accountable. I am asking you, Ratty, as it relates to any moral person with that moral onset, that moral vision, to know that this is an important mechanism to keep, parliamentarians in check as it relates to if a parliamentarian has unexplained wealth, then that process, there ought to be consequence. Why is it that the Prime Minister would want to make a move like this, Rattigan, right, to scrap, I think it is section 145, if my memory serves me right, that speak to unexplained wealth? Why would the Prime Minister want to make a move like this? If the Prime Minister, any at all, was innocent, we are going to the Prime Minister mental cranium here.
The illicit enrichment provision that we speak about, it's not found in the Integrity Commission Act. It's found in the Corruption Prevention Act. It's
Corruption Prevention Act.
Yeah, 14 subsection 5. And it's good law. Now, here's a problem. The Prime Minister has been trumpeting his administration's efforts to stem the tide of corruption, to reduce it. And he said it in so many ways on so many platforms using so many beautiful words. And here it is now that he's out there, well, not lobbying, he's asking, he's petitioning the court to remove section 14.5. So here's the thing, he's asking for the court to repeal, but he's not asking for a replacement. So when you repeal, what is there? What else is there? What is going to be there to hold corrupt politicians accountable for illicit enrichment? Nothing, zero. So now it's a free-for-all. You can take what you want and you don't have to worry about somebody coming and say, well, you only make 30 million, but you live in a 200 million house and we can't say how you account for that. That provision, once it's gone, we can just kiss the idea that we're strangling corruption in Jamaica. We can kiss that position goodbye. And here's what we can kiss goodbye. We can kiss goodbye the fact that we can say, well, you know, we're corrupt, but we're not that corrupt. We can kiss that goodbye, because I'm telling you, we're going to shoot right straight to the top of the heap if we remove that provision. That's the only provision you have in there that you can hold politicians accountable for unexplained wealth. The other one, proceeds of illicit or whatever they call that, that's primarily for drug dealers and scammers and whatever. This is the one for politicians. And if you remove this, I'm telling you, my brother and my sisters, well, brothers and sisters, all of us out there as well, it will be a very dark day for Jamaica as far as global perception of Jamaica is concerned. And I can tell you that there will be consequences. And I cannot understand for the life of me why the Prime Minister would do this, because whoever is advising him, they're stupid people. They're nincompoops.
Yes.
They're non-compos mentis. They're not thinking. You want a story like this to die the natural death in Jamaica, as these stories do. Why the hell would you go to court and then put it on the calendar, and now it's going to sit there for the entire world to see what you're doing? You should just let this thing just die a slow, painful, normal death, right? Or painless, normal death. That's what you should do. But now you put it on front page. Now I can tell you right now, all of the first world countries, second world, everybody is looking at this and say, what kind of thing is this? A Prime Minister asking for them to remove the one provision that he can hold politicians accountable. They say we're going to remove it. Well, I tell you what, I don't practice law in Jamaica, but I certainly hope that the judges just throw this out, just get rid of this. I've looked at some of the things he's asking the court to do, and I'll be very honest with you. I haven't seen one that we could say, okay, the court would probably grant this. I just can't find it.
None.
It's all nonsense, pure nonsense. So, yeah, Marie, you're right. Whoever is advising him, whoever advising him wants to get rid of him. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because I don't know why he would do this. Why? It's people, go back and read it. Go back and read his petition to the court. But before you do that, read the Integrity Commission's report that was tabled. Go to the summary. You don't have to read the details. Just go to the summary, and then you go to his petition, and you'll see that what he's done is just pure unadulterated nonsense. And again, the PSOJ, silent. Silent. You know what they're gonna say now, though? They're gonna say it's sub judice, so they can't talk about it because it's before the court. That's BS. The participants can't talk about it. Well, anybody can, any commentator can make a comment about it. Yeah.
Right. It's public knowledge.
Yeah.
But for me to internalize this, Ratty, I would say, in terms of my perception, that the Prime Minister is doubling down in his corruption. That's my subjective opinion. I'm just saying that. Sister Maria, come in and take a bite at this. What say you as it relates to what the Prime Minister wanting the court to do?
His actions is one of that dictators take, where they want the courts to work on their behalf and do things for them. You know, adjudicate on, you know, do what they want to do. So and I hope that the courts remain independent and do what they're supposed to do on behalf of the Jamaican people. because I don't see for the life of me why the Prime Minister, who made such a profound speech in Parliament about the IC and how to be independent of Parliament and all of that, and then he's now saying that he's basically gutting the IC, rendering them toothless, and saying, yeah, hold other people accountable, but not me. What kind of example is he setting? What kind of messages he's sending to young people? And how does he think he looks on the international stage? Well, he was I don't know, has he spoken to UN as yet? I think so. I'm not sure. I don't know because I don't follow him really. So I don't know if he has spoken.
Yeah, it's finished.
So, how does he look on the international? He's basically becoming an international person. His behavior, his behavior leaves much, much to be desired. It is shameful, and I would have expected better of him. And the people advising him.
Oops, sorry, internet's just.
Okay. Since Sister Maria.
Let me just jump in while
okay,
we're
yes,
take over. One of the things he talked about was that his privacy was violated. And you said to yourself, hold on one second. You said, well, wait a minute. The Integrity Commission conducted an investigation and said, we can't talk about it. We have to give it to Parliament. And let Parliament decide to table it, and then we can talk about it. Who tabled it? Who made it public? It was Leroy Clark, the Deputy Speaker. He tabled it, and once you table it, it's public. Exactly. It wasn't the Integrity Commission, right? Remember the threat that they're going to send it to Oversight Committee, and they're going to send it.
My Wi-Fi seems to be weak. I don't know what's going on. Hold on.
Right. So it wasn't the Integrity Commission. I've been trying to get the Integrity Commission to come on my program because I wrote to them and I said, listen, guys, you say you couldn't speak before under 52.3 or 53.2, one of them. No, 52.3. You say you can't speak, right? But until it's tabled. But now it's stable, and you didn't table it. Parliament tabled it. The Speaker did. So, or the Deputy Speaker. So now you can talk, and they're still mum. They're still silent. The other thing he said was that they overstepped their boundary. And I'm saying, well, wait a minute. Hold on one second. That was within their remit to conduct an investigation of your statutory declaration. You yourself proposed this. You established this thing, and then now because now they're applying it to you now, and you're feeling the pinch. You said no. When they applied it to when they applied it to the former speaker, Marissa Dalrymple Philibert, how come he didn't say anything about that? When they did it to Mr. Vaz, right? When they applied the Integrity Commission Act to him for failure to file, and then they give him the $250. How come he didn't say anything about that? How about Mr. Leslie Campbell, who didn't file, the former junior minister in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade? How come he didn't rescue them? He's rescuing himself. You see how selfish this man is? You see how selfish this man is? And look, he has a majority, So what he could have done is, even if it didn't pass in the Senate, he could have said, you know what, I don't like this law. What he should have done is said, I'm going to replace, and I'm going to repeal, and I'm going to replace, and come up with something else. But he didn't. He wants to just repeal the thing. And then the question is, okay, so what's going to happen after? What's going to happen after? It's going to be a free-for-all. The politicians are now going to steal like it's going out of style, because there's no law that they can, that as far as illicit enrichment is concerned.
Exactly.
I shouldn't give the Prime Minister any nuggets. Well, Juni Cray, here's what happened. Him done make him move already, and them can't take it back. Him done make him move already. So, there's nothing he can do right now. Him go out and put out this what I forgot how many pages, 72 pages or something. I forgot the affidavit he did. Believe me, you know what? He's gonna sorry he wrote that affidavit. He's going to be very sorry.
I think so too.
He's going to be very sorry, because I tell you what, when and be patient with me, folks, because we're working on a lot of things right now. But when the Integrity Commission's report, when it goes to certain people along with his affidavit, people are gonna see him for who he truly is. And when I say people, I'm talking about people outside of Jamaica, because we are convinced that there's not much that people in Jamaica can do to get him to change, do a course correction. There's not much, but there are people outside of Jamaica, there are organizations outside of Jamaica that can get him to do an about face. In fact, there are people out there who can actually have him abdicate his position, right? Give up his position. And we see, and that's been done in Jamaica several times. So we know it's possible, but people in Jamaica, believe me, I pray for you and I weep for you because I know what's going on, but I don't really can't talk the way we talk, and I can't talk up the things, and I can't protest because they're not going to do enough permit, and if I don't go up on the road, the police and without mashing it down, and next thing you know, they end up in a prison, and if you had ball for ISAT, and only one ISAT. So, you know, we might have to call for some other people as well, but we understand, and we are doing our level best to help all of you there, because by helping you, we're also helping ourselves because we're one. We understand that, we appreciate it, and we accept it. We are one, and anything we can do from across the ocean, we are going to do it to help you guys. Legally though, let me make that clear. Legal stuff we're dealing with. We're not dealing with anything illegal or illicit. We're not part of any illicit group.
All right. Let us bring up this 200. Okay. Share?
Yeah.
All right. Now let us read into this, Ratty. For immediate release, Integrity Commission submits investigation report and ruling to Parliament for tabling October 8, 2024. In keeping with its commitment previously made to the public, the Integrity Commission wishes to advise that it has today submitted to Parliament for tabling a report of investigation and associated indicative ruling and a full ruling of its Director of Corruption Prosecution. Well, very interestingly, we want to see how the corruption prosecutor rule in that regards, but we are yet to bite into that. The foregoing documentation was formally received and signed for at the Parliament at 3:07 p.m. today. Hard copies of the investigation report were submitted in separate envelopes on the cover of identical letters addressed to the following officials and 3 persons: the Most Honorable Juliet Holness, MP Speaker of the House of Representatives, Senator the Honorable Tom Tavares Finson, right, President of the Senate, and Miss Colleen Lowe, Clerk to the House of Parliament. The associated indicative ruling, which is embodied in a second and separate letter, together with the full ruling of the Director of Corruption Prosecution, were also similarly submitted. A USB flash drive. So, Ratty, let's say interesting days ahead. No, well, and that will be what? Coming out on, supposed to be coming out on Tuesday, possibly Tuesday.
Tuesday coming, next Tuesday.
Well, I tell you something. I will be here next week Tuesday. So people, remember, my wife and I will be here, right? Because we're off on that day. So both of us, we are going to be here, right? And of course, we'll be, hearing that live while it happens, right? So Ratty,
Yes, sir.
give us some comments on that now.
Yeah, it's a similar report to the one they sent out regarding the Prime Minister with indicative ruling, with the full commission report, and with the report from the corruption prosecutor. Now, it's gonna be interesting to see this time. My focus now is gonna be on the corruption prosecutor.
Exactly.
Because I'm gonna see, if her report is there, it could only mean one thing: that the Integrity Commission recommended prosecution.
Yes.
Right? That's the only time you'd see her report there, that they recommended prosecution, and then she would now have to, come up with her position as to whether the matter should be prosecuted and or shouldn't be prosecuted. Either way, she's going to make a statement. She has to put a report and she has to do an analysis. And as we know, her analysis the last time was very, very faulty. And the one last year, I consider it to be faulty as well. So we're going to see if she is going to act in a consistent fashion where she apply faulty reasoning and Lego people. We have to see if that is the case. But Jamaicans, I don't know how much more of this one I can take. I know a lot of you, they're thinking about, you know, how you going to get your children to school, how you going to get to work, you know, how you going to pay your bills, how you going to feed, clothe, shelter them. I know that's concerning to you, and this is like secondary or tertiary. This is somewhere out there. But just keep in mind that this affects you. And you know, I was having a discussion, Baron and Anne-Marie, with some folks, and they were saying, we don't know if the ordinary Jamaican understands the import of these reports, how these things impact their lives. You know, the fact that they're investigating corruption and how the corruption, how does it translate to them? And they're saying we have to find a way that we can explain to them that when the Prime Minister can't explain certain things, where the monies come from, and if there's suspicion that there is suspicion, illicit enrichment, where did that money come from? And it would be quite revealing if it turned out that the money came from a source that should have been directed to the people, right? Like we know a lot of money came in during COVID time, and we still haven't gotten an accurate accounting of how that money was disbursed. And we also know that the Prime Minister formed some of the companies, 3 companies. He formed Imperium, he formed Imperium, Estate Bridge, and Positive Jamaica Foundation. I think he formed them in 2020. Right? That was during COVID period. And the other one, which he didn't form, but he has an association with, Green Emerald. That was formed in 2020. One was formed in June, one was formed in July, one was formed in October, one was formed in November. All in 2020. And that money was flowing in. Yeah. So we don't know if some of those funds, the monies that we're seeing, you know, circulating, we don't know if some of those funds came from there. In fact, we don't know where the funds come from at this point, and we're trying to figure it out. But people, I'm trying to tell you that corruption affects all of us. You might think, some people might say, big people think that, no, it's your thing. It's your thing. It's a small man thing. It's a middle class thing. It's everybody's same thing. And so I'm waiting with bated breath for this report to be tabled, because we want to know who is next. And again, I am imploring, beseeching, begging the Integrity Commission to go to the DPP, the acting DPP, and ask her for an opinion concerning the corruption prosecutor's decision, the one last year. They might just say, well, they're not even going to look at that. But certainly the one with the Prime Minister, where the corruption prosecutor refused to prosecute him for the 4 bank accounts that he didn't tell them about, that they found out about, the 4 Nova Scotia bank accounts. We need to, if you're going to apply the law, please apply it. And you shouldn't need me, you know, this so far physically and otherwise from what you are doing, that me have to tell you that there's a provision within the Integrity Commission Act that allows for the DPP, or the acting DPP in this case, to be involved in the matter. You shouldn't need me to tell you that. And I'm going to keep pointing it out. I'm actually going to be looking for it while we're talking here, Byron, because it's just a shame that, and to me, a lot of people are not aware, because if they were aware, they would call on them and say, listen, why is it that why the Integrity Commission is not using the powers it has within the Integrity Commission Act? So, but let me just take a little break and just look for it, and then I'll just throw it up on the board there.
Okay. While you're taking the break, let me just take this caller. Yes, caller, Mystic Sensation, you're on here.
All right.
Yes. This,
Uncle Man.
this sound like brother Uriel, man. Uriel, turn off the device in your background.
Yeah. Sorry about it.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, man. So we want to find out if anybody check which foreign company will Prime Minister work with, why him or her US dollars?
Well, I haven't done any checking on that, so I'm going.
But that's another big question we ask. Which foreign government will work with, why him or her US dollars? That they can have US account. So,
Well,
so the Prime Minister will black market when buy US dollar on the street.
well, I see where you're going with that, Rural. And you know, I definitely see where you're going with that.
Yeah, but you can't go the other way, because if you're not working for it, you're not working with the US government, and you're not doing business where you transact. Your company are doing the business abroad. Where you work US dollars.
To be getting earning in US dollars.
So all you have, all come you have US account. All that work out.
Very good question.
To be asked.
Something that need to something that need to peruse. That definitely needs some probity. But let us take it to Ratty and see if Ratty could come up to
all right. Here's what happened, right?
All right.
Here's what happened with the US account.
Yes.
At this point, I can't prove it, but in my gut, I just believe that there is a foreign account, there's a US account. And here is why. Here's why. The Consul General in New York, her name is Alcian Roach Wilson. What was she before she became the Consul General? She was an executive at Bear Stearns, which is a financial house. I believe at one point she was involved with a hedge fund. I know it's been written extensively about her involvement on Wall Street with financial matters. She's a financial whiz. Now, before she took the job, and she's been living in New York for decades. Now, before she took the job as Consul General in New York, she was having regular conversations with the Prime Minister. Hear me out, people. Hear me out. And I challenge her, the Prime Minister, to tell me that I'm wrong. Before she took this position, she was having regular conversations with the Prime Minister. This is when she was a money manager, right? So the question then is, why would she be having conversations with the Prime Minister on a regular basis? Why? They didn't know each other from, they didn't grow up, they didn't go to the same school or whatever. She met him over the years because of her involvement with conducting financial matters, I believe on behalf of the country of Jamaica through various administrations. But all of a sudden they became very, very good friends. Keep in mind, like I'm saying, she was a financial manager. She was not the Consul General. And so I'm curious as to why is it that she was having these conversations with him. I'm trying to close the loop. I think you guys know where I'm going with this, but I'm not there yet. I'm trying to close the loop, right? And I'm asking the Integrity Commission. I'm asking FID. Go through Egmont, the Egmont Group. The organization composed of financial investigators and analysts. Go through that group and have them question the CG. Have them question her about her relationship with the Prime Minister. Have them ask her if she's ever managed any money for him in any shape, form whatsoever, whether it's investment, whether it's banking, deposits, withdraw, any money matters whatsoever, any under the sun. Has she ever been involved with any account for him or for his relatives or for anyone in the government? And it will be interesting that to find out whether or not she's still doing it, because her tax return should show whether or not she's being remunerated for it. That would be interesting for the US government to take a look at, to say, okay, let's look at the transactions. If she's ever worked on any, look at the transactions and see when those transactions took place and see whether or not there was a payment for conducting, whether it's a percentage or a flat fee or whatever. I would be interested to interview her, to ask her these questions, and therefore I am sure the Integrity Commission must feel the same way. I'm sure FID must feel the same way, because Baron, I'm telling you, if they're interested in turning over every stone to see what's there, they must interview this lady. They must. No investigation is complete, none whatsoever, of the Prime Minister for illicit enrichment and his family members and the members of Parliament. None of those investigations fully complete until they interview this lady. They have to interview her. My gut tells me that there's something there. I can't prove it, I don't know it, but I just feel it. And they need to ask her the questions. And she can't lie. When they go to her in the Egmont group, when they go to her, she can't lie. And then also, she's gonna have, she gave up, I believe she gave up her US citizenship to accept this job. But she's still a US taxpayer. There is a business over in New Jersey that I'm told is associated with her and her husband. And someone called me last week and said that she had made statements to the effect that she was managing the Prime Minister's money. I don't know if it's true. That's what somebody said to me last week. But I'm not going to buy into that. I want the Egmont group to ask her the direct questions, and let's see what her answers are. And then also, I want them to start pull some records. I want them to start saying, okay, we're going to pull some of the records that you worked on. And you're right, Monica, phone records as well. She have to give up all of the phone numbers, and they have to run through the phone, and they'll see whether or not she was talking to him. Because the reason I'm saying this, if I were the Prime Minister, and I know that this lady with this talent is out there, and she's affiliated with doing business with the government of Jamaica, and I develop a friendship with her, I would use her to manage money and set up offshore accounts. I would. I'm not saying the Prime Minister did. I don't know if he did. Yeah. But if I were in his position, I would do that. So, and then remember, they asked him about overseas accounts, and they asked him about local accounts. We didn't see anything with an overseas account, because I think the Citibank account that we saw there, I think that was the Citibank in Jamaica. I don't know. Oh, another thing too is this. Citibank is an American corporation. It's an American institution, banking institution. So whatever transactions he conducted with Citibank, it touched the American banking system. The US government has jurisdiction over that. They can go back and say, where did this money come from?
Yes.
So that's what I'm telling you. This investigation is nowhere near completed. Nowhere. If you people believe me, if you read that report with a critical eye and an analytical mind, you're gonna come to the conclusion that there are lots of loose ends in there. There are lots of leads to be pursued. Lots of leads. And it's going to take professionals to do this job. You can't use no amateurs on this job. You have to have people who know exactly what they're doing. You know, they have a familiarity with general investigations, but and also with financial investigations. And I'm telling you, when all is said, and the Prime Minister, if he's watching this program right now, or people gonna watch it,
yes,
them uneasy.
Yes.
They're uneasy. They must be uneasy, because they know that the half has has not been told yet. The half has not been told.
So Ratty, what is important here, right, as it relates to, you know, the report in an holistic sense, and just to summarize it in context, Ratty, what we are looking on is, you know, not having the explanation of the source of funds, right? Because with all of the 170 pages, right, to have it summarized, and our conclusion in terms of our inference, right, on that report is that it lacked the explanation of the source of funds. Isn't that right?
That's absolutely correct.
Right? And so then that for me, right, I tell Ratty, the Prime Minister is in a conundrum. And to me, where the Integrity Commission just start to investigate, you know, as it relates to 2021 and upward, and where that investigation relates to Andrew Holness not coming forward in terms of, you know, answering some of the questions being asked as it relates to the source of funds. Now, FID, right? Starting from there, I see where this investigation, Ratty, is going to go way back to ADMAT. When I look at it, Ratty, no joke about it. This investigation is going straight back to ADMAT. No two way about it. So, and so then we can understand the reason why the Prime Minister is fighting so hard. So hard. Yes, you want to say something, Ratty? Go ahead.
I knew you were going to go back to ADMAT because I know you have it up for ADMAT. And you're right. You're right. That's a starting point. But now you understand why there were no FBI agents in Jamaica when the finance minister came out and said that, oh, we have FBI agents and they're coming and this and that. And if you remember, the gentleman who heads the anti-corruption component of the CTOC, the gentleman who headed CTOC, remember he came out and he said, there are no FBI agents here. It's a local investigation. And whenever we need, if we need FBI agents, we will make a request. But as of right now, no FBI. And now you know why, because I'm telling you, when the FBI show up, they're not going to just stop. You cannot tell them, oh, we just needed to do this. And exactly. What they're going to do is they're going to follow the lead. They're going to follow their leads. And wherever the leads take them, that's where they're going. And as I sit here tonight, I'm telling you that there are several leads to be pursued. And if you go down those tracks, I'm telling you, you're gonna dig up all kinds of stuff. And it won't stop. It will not stop at Estate Bridge, Positive Jamaica Foundation, Imperium, and Green Emerald. And as I said to you, let me be clear about Green Emerald. Green Emerald was the company that paid Positive Media, paid them $2.something million to do advertising and loaned them $20 million. You imagine that? A company in the middle of the ghetto in a Cockburn pen for Henderson Avenue loaned the Prime Minister's company $20 million. And then the Prime Minister's company turned around and paid him $24 million. And then when they ask, where is the paperwork? No paperwork. How the hell can you be dealing with that kind of money in Jamaica and have no paperwork?
It's crazy.
Yeah. So you know they're gonna dig up all of this stuff, and it's going to cause all kinds of problems. And that's what I'm saying. The Prime Minister made a blunder.
Yes.
He made a blunder. He should not have pursued this course of action by saying I'm going to court. Because now he has a 70-something page affidavit out there that people can peruse, and they can go through it and compare it to this report, to the Integrity Commission report. And I'm telling you, the people are going to have a feel. Right now, I can tell you that the American government, the embassy in Jamaica, they've gone through this already.
Yes.
I'm not even guess. This is not a guess or a supposition. I'm telling you, they've gone through this already. They've made their note. By the way, just so you know, they know whether he's lying or not. Because they have all of that information. They know.
Yeah.
And they're going to hold that. They're going to hold it. And I'm telling you, he's going to be their lackey. When they say, listen, we needed to jump, he's going to say, oh, hi, because otherwise it's going to be revealed. But we're trying to reveal it. We're trying to get as much as we can and reveal it, because this prime minister is not a good prime minister, Jamaica. And believe me, his supporters, they know this. The ones who have read the report, they know that this is what he's done is violated the trust that the people placed in him when they voted him in, because he came in with so much promise. Everyone that I spoke at the time, they said, boy, JLP and PNP are like, they said, we're ready for a change. And this is a young, bright, energetic, a prime minister, and he's going to do well. We want him to do well. We're going to support him. And he's turned out to be a grand disappointment. He's turned out to be a grand disappointment. The Integrity Commission, they stopped just short of calling him a liar. Just short. But if you read between the lines, they're calling him a liar.
They're calling him a liar.
They're calling him a liar. They stopped just short of writing the words of Mr. Prime Minister, you're a liar. And so, people of Jamaica, this is about you. This is not about a political party or anything like that. This is about one man who pledged. We should go back and read his pledge. We should go back and read his pledge when he took the oath of office.
Yes.
Right? We should go back and read that and say he pledged, right, to be the best leader of Jamaica, to provide, to support, to do all of these things for the people of Jamaica, to lead by example, to do all of these things. And is this the example? Is this the example where you, instead of coming forward and just telling the people, when they ask you, okay, give us your expense then, so that we can match it up with your salary and match it up with your assets? And he said, no. Is this the kind of example we need? This is not the kind of example we need.
It's crazy.